In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add footsteps to an animation like this, how to randomize them footsteps, and how to add a distance sound. So see how the car horns like that, and then as you come away, it gets quieter. As you get closer, you can hear it and then go away. And how to actually add a sound in the blueprint. So for now, I've just added the car horn to the jump. So basically, every time I jump, it's going to car horn. So yeah, I mean, you don't want to use a car horn for a jump, but you know, it's just how to add the sound. So let's get on with it. So I'm in the third person game template version 5.6. And the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to import our sound effects. So I've just created a folder here called SFX. To create a new folder, you just right click in the space and you go new folder. So I've just called it sound effects. Double click on that, it's empty. Now, when you import sound effects, the sound effects are going to be in a WAV file. So whenever you're making sound effects or you're collecting sound effects from somewhere else, you need to make sure that they're a WAV file. And I'm just going to click import, and I'm going to import some footsteps that I've got. So I've just imported 4 footsteps. They sound like this. So there's like a slight variation between all 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to add that to the player animation. So basically, so when the player walks, well, runs forward like that, there's going to be a footsteps to it. So you just need to find wherever your run animation is. So in third person template, if you go to characters, mannequins, animations, unarmed, and I think it's jog. So we're going to just click on this MF unarmed jog forward. We're going to duck that across. Right, and see this notifies 1. Right, you can ignore all this stuff. These are notifiers that are already put into as a default into the player. So this is probably IKs and stuff like that. But we're just going to add simple sound effects, and we're going to add the foot that we just added in. So all you need to do is see where it says track, and you can add as many of these as you want. Just click on track and put add notify track, and now you see it says 2. And on notifies, you can add loads of stuff. So you can add, like, see here, if you right click on this line where it says 2, add notify, you can add a Niagara effect, you play particle sound, reset clothing simulate. You can do all sorts of stuff. You can add a notify state. You can do all sorts of stuff. But for now, we're just going to go add notify, play sound, right? And see here, now we've got this thing says play sound, and come up to this top right where it says sound. This is the sound that it's going to play in this section. So we can just click on go to our folder, go to our sound effects, click on foot 1, for example, so it's blue, and then click this and it'll go in there. Or you can just drag it in, so you can just drag that from there and you can just put it like that. Or you can click on the arrow to down to get the menu of all the sound effects, and you can type it in manually. So, but for now, look, so we've just got that foot 1 and it's on this bit. So for now, I've just threw it in anywhere, just randomly anywhere, but you don't want to put it anywhere. You want to put it when the foot hits the floor. So look, see the first foot there, right? And then click on that blue, press Control C, then scroll across to where the next foot hits, and then click in that line and press Control V. Now you see I've got another one. And then the next one, go back into your line, press Control V, because you've still got that foot effect, sound effect copied and pasted into your clipboard, so it will still just keep pasting it every time you press Control V. So go to the next one, foot down again, Control V, foot down again, Control V. So it sounds like this. See, it's got a gap on it, right? That's because when the foot hits the floor, there should be one at the start. Look, you see, you can put one right at the start. That second one should be a bit more like there. So basically, you just put in it. This is just, you do it however you want to do it, basically. But this is kind of it. So you get the idea. If you want to mess around with the sound, look, volume multiplier, so you can turn it up. You can put the pitch of it up. So let's make it so it goes 2 times as fast. The sound, that is. But it's only done it on that one, so you can click on that one. See, that one's still pitch multiplier 1. So you're only affecting the individual sound. So that one's at pitch multiplier 2, but this one's at pitch multiplier 1. The rest of them are at pitch multiplier 1. You can press shift and click them all and have multiple values and put 2, and now they'd all be at 2. Look, but 2's a bit, makes the sound a bit too fast, so you don't have to change the pitch. I'm just showing that you can change the pitch. Let's put it back down to 1 just for the sake of that. Right, so now, like, we've got our footsteps there. Each one's triggering every time a foot hits the floor. So with my player now, but it's just the same sound. There's no randomness to it. So ideally, what you could do is you could make it so you could have foot 1 and you could change that to foot 3. Change this one to foot 2. If you had these sound effects, by the way. Change this one to foot 4. And now it's a bit more varied. So there's a bit more variation to it, but there's a better way. You can actually just random it. See, so there's still variation to it, but that sound is going to loop over and over and over and over. So what you want to do is we're going to keep all these in the place of where they are, right? Foot 1, foot 3, keep them in the place. You're going to save our animation. Now we're going to come into our sound effects folder, and we're going to right click, and we're going to go to audio, and then we're going to put sound cue. You see there, sound cue, and let's just call this walk steps, and then double click that to open it, right? And then it's this basically, right? Now we're going to get our 4 foot stones, and then we're going to drag them in. They need to be plugged into there, right? But in here, we can come off here and type random, and then you see it just says random. Then add input. We've got 4, so we're going to add 3 more inputs. 1, 2, and then we're going to drag that into there. And now if we play this, it will just randomize the footsteps. So now we can close that. Now we've saved it. What we're going to do is where it says foot 1, right, we called this thing walk steps. So we're going to change that to walk steps. We're going to change them all. So you can just press, hold shift, press, 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 press. Change all of these to walk steps. Now it will just be a random, the whole thing will be random. So now each step now is the walk steps sound cue that we just made, right? So you can put, see on here where it says follow, right? If this sound should follow its owner. So say if you was a multiplayer or something and we ticked follow, it means that that sound is going to follow where the player is. So if a player runs past you, the footsteps will get quieter as it goes along. And you can do that. So you could do that with like an enemy, for example. If you had AI enemies, as they're walking away from you, walking towards you, the sound would follow them. But you can also make a sound cue that you can add sound attenuation to your sound cue. So the sound cue that we just made, double click that again. See here, it says attenuation settings. At the moment, we don't have anything because we haven't made a sound attenuation. Attenuation is turning something down. So in sound production, you have amplify, which is to turn the sound up, and you have attenuate, which is to turn the sound down. That's the proper terms for it. So what a sound attenuation is, if we just right click, we go to audio and we click sound attenuation, and let's just call this close distance, right? Because this isn't going to be this isn't going to be to do with the footsteps, because you can apply these sound attenuations to all sorts of things. So this is going to be for sounds that are close, and we can apply it to sounds that we want to hear that are close. So double click on this, right, and you get this. It just looks like this attenuation function. We want to click this to natural sound, right? Attenuation at max, it's gonna, when you see this fall off distance 3600, when you get 3600 units away from this sound, the level of the sound will be at minus 60 dB. So that pretty much silences it out. Anything over about 40 dB silences stuff out. You can sort of still hear it, but 60 dB should just completely silence it out. So the fall off distance is 3600. Let's just put this, just so I can show you how it works. Let's put it at 1000, right? Press save. So click on our walk steps again, and then click on the output. So see, if you click on output, that's the information for it. If you click on random, that's the information for it. You click on your footsteps, each individual footstep, that's the information for it. So click on the output, and then see where it says attenuation settings. Click the one that we just made close distance, right? Anything that you apply that close distance to is gonna fade away at 1000 Unreal Engine units. So I'm gonna import just a random sound. Let's put this car horns one that I made. Right? I'm going to make another sound cue so I can drag it into the game and I can show you the attenuation settings working. So you can actually just add the attenuation to the sound itself. So if you scroll down, look, attenuation settings, that's the sound on its own. So I can just add that close distance to it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to make a sound cue first. Make another, go right click, go audio, sound cue, and then just call this car horn. Well, you won't call this car horn because you won't have car horn, but I'm just showing you an example. Then I'm going to drag my car horn sound in, just throw that into there, and then on attenuation settings, we're going to put close distance one that we just made, and then I'm going to drag my car horns sound cue in over here. I haven't got it looping, so let me just go to my sound cue again. Click on there, looping. See, I'm over here, I can't hear the sound of the car as I get closer. Going away. See, so that's how I did the I added a sound attenuation in a game that I'm working on for the game jam. As the car comes past you, it's using one of these sound attenuation sound cues to give the impression that the car's gone past and the horn's going following with it. So yeah, that's how you do that. I hope that was clear. If there is any questions, just let us know. But yeah, you want to make, so see like that sound attenuation, or what done one called close distance, right? You can do it. You could just, the close distance sound attenuation we just made, you can right click on that, duplicate, and call this far distance, and then just double click, open it up, and then you could just increase this fall off distance to say 4000, and then that will give you a further distance. So then whenever you're adding attenuation, sound attenuation, like the distance kind of like surround sound. Whenever you're adding that to any of your sound effects, you can just go, oh, okay, I want this one to be heard close, so it's a quiet sound, so you'd have close distance. I want this one to be heard from far away, so this is far distance and stuff like that. When it comes to adding sounds into blueprints, sound effects are very, very easy to add in blueprints. So say if we just wanted to add a sound when we jump, let's just say every time I jump, I want to play that car horn sound. Just drag off the node, play sound. And then you've got create sound 2D, play sound 2D, play sound at location. Play sound 2D is when you've got a sound that is sort of like for widgets and buttons, sounds that are just there. They're not in the space. They're just on the screen. So like you'd click a button and it would do a beep, or you know that's just the sound. Play sound 2D basically. We want to play sound at location, so where we jump at. So play sound at location, and we're going to get our car horn, but we're going to use the sound attenuation as well. That'll pretty much guarantee that it's in the place where it is. Sound cue, sound car horn. The location is just get at the location. Now when we jump, it's going to do a car horn. It might loop it as well because it's still in the air where we left it, because we had it looping. So let's not loop this. And see, so as I jump in, it's just making a sound. I wonder if you actually I wonder if that lives forever there, because you're not spawning a sound, it's just playing a sound. But I suppose if it's looping, it's going to play forever. But yeah, so yeah, that's basically it. So you've got play sound when you're putting sounds into blueprints. You've got play sound. You've got play sound at location. Play sound 2D. Create sound 2D. So you've got this is pretty much it. I mainly use play sound 2D or play sound at location. I'll use play sound 2D for like widgets and stuff like that. And then play sound at location for sound effects like bullet whistles, bullet shots. And it's important to try to understand where you're going to put your sounds as well. So for example, like these walk steps, I've put them in the player animation, but you could play the sound on some kind of line trace that was coming from the feet. So basically, like every time the foot touched the floor, it would play a sound, rather than having to put the sound in every single animation. So there's a lot of different ways of doing things in Unreal Engine. You've just got to find the way that best works for you. Find a way that works as well, and find a way that doesn't impose on other things. So the easier you can make it for the rest of your code, the better. But main thing is that it works for what you want it to do. So as I've got further on down my journey of learning Unreal, I am finding out that some of the things that I was doing to start with, that was the best way or the easiest way to do something, is not necessarily the easiest when you want to start adding certain things or making it multiplayer and that. So some things work for a while and that's good, but you will outgrow that method once you start learning other stuff. But as long as it works for now and you've got it working for now, that's fine. Just keep doing it, and then eventually you'll learn easier ways, better ways, and like I say, you'll outgrow that particular method, but you will learn new ways and you'll be able to implement the stuff that you've already done into new stuff. So yeah, just keep messing around, having fun with it. But yeah, if there's any questions that wasn't clear, just let us know. and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.